So the question then is, how do you do this? The answer is you don't, because you're a normal person blessed with common sense and without a sick and twisted mind. On a regular Wednesday in February of 2026, a mother walks into a police station to sit down for an interview. She's ready to talk about something that happened a while back. The story is, she had a boyfriend, she's an adult, he's 41 years old now. They met, got along, started dating, and it really worked out because she had children and he had 2 daughters of his own. So they just kind of had things in common. He also happened to be a middle school teacher at her daughter's school. In fact, he was the daughter's teacher, which was cool because not only did they work on having this loving relationship, but the daughter also saw him often. Her kids spent a lot of time with him outside of school, and throughout the course of their relationship, they just kept getting closer and closer. So much so that when it got to be winter break, the woman and her kids spent the entire 2 weeks at his house. The man's name is Daniel Lalief. Daniel was a teacher at a middle school in Central County, Florida. I believe it was in a suburb just outside of Orlando. Thankfully, he will never step foot in there again. And if you didn't know him, you could think that he was just a regular middle school teacher, trusted with children every single day, part of the community, decent guy. But according to the allegations against him, Daniel is the farthest thing away from a decent guy. What investigators have alleged is that Daniel was not only a teacher who crossed a line with a student, but he was a man who built an entire plan, deliberately, methodically, and patiently around gaining access to a child. So it was October of 2023 when Daniel began dating the mother of one of his 13-year-old students. Like I said, things were going well until they weren't, because there was something concerning about the attention that Daniel gave the 13-year-old girl inside and outside of the classroom. Call it what it is, it was grooming. At school, Daniel and the victim spent time alone in his classroom before and after school. He would ask her to stay longer than any of the other students would. He had a designated drawer in his desk specifically for her, filled with her perfume and a blanket. He made scheduling changes to have her added to more of his classes so that he could spend even more time with her. He allegedly held her hands, hugged her, and at times rubbed her thighs during the times that they were alone. And then came the secret communication system, because Daniel is an adult man. He has a brain. He uses it for all of the wrong reasons, it seems, but he knows right from wrong, aka he knew that talking to the 13-year-old girl as much as he wanted to would be unacceptable. So he decided that the next best thing to do was to teach her Morse code, and he did. He taught her with the goal of being able to communicate with one another undetected. He also went out of his way to set up what has been described to be, quote, throwaway email accounts and secret websites so that he again could contact her without anyone noticing. He also allegedly opened up a bank account in her name and added money to it. And when he would call and text her late at night, he quickly became controlling in the way that he would tell her to delete certain messages. And I say controlling because, again, he is a grown man and the child is a 13-year-old girl who probably did not understand the gravity of what was happening nor what Daniel's intentions were. On top of that, this is not only her mom's boyfriend, but this is also her teacher. So she could have just felt like she had to go along with things, not to disrespect him. Whatever the case, she was a child. But the most disturbing allegation comes from what took place the night before Christmas Day back in 2023 when the victim and her mother were staying at Daniel's home for break. In the middle of the night, the 13-year-old girl got up to use the bathroom. She left the door unlocked, thinking that everyone in the house was asleep, but she was wrong because Daniel was awake and he followed her into the bathroom. When he walked inside, he told her to remove everything that she had on, forced her to lay on the bathroom floor, and then he SA'd her. It lasted for about 10 minutes in which neither of them said a word. When it was over, he got up, he told her not to tell anyone what happened, and he walked out. And it sounds like very soon after, the girl told her mom what Daniel had done to her. That ended up ending the relationship between him and the mom because she broke up with him. But another shocking detail comes from Daniel's behavior after the breakup, because when he saw the 13-year-old girl post-breakup, he told her that he only got into a relationship with the mom to be able to get closer to her. So that same day in February of 2026, after authorities held that interview with the mom, they interviewed the daughter, and it's during that she told them what happened in the bathroom at his house during winter break. Daniel Lalief was investigated by the school board twice back in 2024 due to allegations about questionable conduct. Neither investigation resulted in criminal charges at the time. However, he was placed on administrative leave in April of 2026. The county public schools confirmed that he ultimately decided to resign before he could be fired in 2024. So he quit, and he was then told that he was not going to be eligible for rehire. Fast forward to earlier this year, more than 2 years after the SA, the victim and her mother came forward, and the victim disclosed everything during a forensic interview with investigators, and then police moved quickly. On Monday, March 30th of 2026, Daniel Philip Lalief was taken into custody from his house in Florida. He was arrested, charged, and held without bond. A judge ordered him to remain in custody at his brief court appearance. So as of now, the latest update that I could find is that he is still being held without bond, but no trial date has been set. However, two things that you guys are probably thinking. One, why did so much time go by in between when things took place in 2024 to the arrest in 2026? And two, what can we really expect to happen with this case? To answer number one, I assume the time gap was just because of how the process of these types of cases goes. Obviously, Daniel and the mother broke up back in 2024, and that was also the year that he quit before he could have been fired. But had the mom and or the daughter been in contact with law enforcement about Daniel back then too? I'm not sure. But before making an arrest, authorities would have had to sort through the evidence, the bank account, the different interviews, finding deleted and or hidden emails and messages. That all takes time, obviously, to gather together, but it's important to make sure that when the arrest does come, they have enough to keep him in custody. But I can say for certain when the first time was when the mom and the daughter got in contact with the police. As far as number two, because there is not forensic evidence in this case, and most of the evidence does come from witness statements, my guess is that even they will not want to, they will have to have the victim, the daughter, testify on the stand against Daniel, which is the thing that you kind of want to avoid, right? Because you don't want the kid to have more trauma than they already do. But that might be what ends up happening. Regardless, a good thing is that he has been charged with first-degree felonies, so hopefully there is justice that is served. That's all from me today. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys are having the best day. If not, go do something to make it the best day. Make somebody happy, and I will see you in my next video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you.